So today we have a very interesting subject, and we'll talk on the health benefits of spices. Well, first of all, what is spice? What is it? It can be a seed, it can be a leaf, a fruit, a root, a bark, or other plant substance primarily used for flavoring, coloring, or preserving food. Mostly it's used for flavoring. Some is used for coloring as well, like for example, red pepper. If you put it, especially if you use a powder and you use it for your soup and you want a more kind of reddish color, it will add that color. Or you can use turmeric to make it really kind of yellow. Coloring food is one thing, but I would like to draw a parallel and say that spices, they add color to our food, but not a real color, but they add flavors. If to take a picture and make it black and white, so adding spices, it adds colors to that picture. So for example, if you take noodles and just use salt and water, is it tasty? Not yet. Well, you already can eat it, but it's still not that. How about if you add some tomatoes? And if you add some basil or rosemary, then you have a dish. Sometimes if you take a simple basic food like noodles and adding a little bit of ingredients, what we call spices, like basil or rosemary or Italian seasoning, and it adds a different flavor. And depends on the seasoning, you can play, you can experiment. It's actually unlimited in combinations. So there are spices for every taste. You like that one, some other people like the other one, and when you combine them, it's a third, and you combine something a third, and it's really unlimited. And everybody has his favorite tastes, and everybody likes some of the particular kind of spices. I remember eating, I was traveling in Europe, and I ordered a vegetarian pizza, and they brought me a vegetarian pizza. They put some vegetables there, and so he comes to me and says, "So, how do you like it?" I didn't want to offend him. I just said, "That's okay. That's good," but that was kind of a hypocrisy from me, because literally I thought, it's eatable. But it was barely just plain piece of dough with some vegetables. There was no spices, so there was no flavor in it. So what makes some of these, what we call junk food, so attractive? So why children like chips and all those little crackers and kind of all their variety of all these, crackers with this and this and this and this? So what makes them so tasty? It's a wheat flour, it's water and salt. What makes them so delicious is spices. And what makes them addictive, it's a glutamate. Well, I'm not going to discuss today about the addiction to the junk food or what we should avoid. I'm going to talk about healthy spices and health benefits and what should we use. So it's not all about just flavor. Some of the spices in the quantity we use, they're actually literally used just to add flavor to our food. But there are many spices, and we're going to talk in details about some of them, that besides adding flavor to our food, the good health benefits for us. There are spices that help cardiovascular system. There are spices which help nervous system. They help us to go to sleep, or they help us to stay awake, or they help us to calm down. The spices which help to fight the respiratory diseases, like colds and flus. Spices which help our digestive system. Spices which can release constipation. Spices which can help digestion and stimulate acid production in the stomach. There are spices which help arthritis, relieve pain, muscle pain, or they can help us to strengthen our bones. Of course, I cannot talk about all the spices and all the systems, but I will talk a little bit today. So I tried to squeeze into one health lecture a lot of information. One of the things I would like to talk specifically today is using spices as natural antibiotics. You know that antibiotics is good because they are literally saving lives. So there are a lot of thousands of lives were saved since the first antibiotic, penicillin, was discovered. And there's a lot of antibiotics exist today, and a lot of lives are saved by using of antibiotics. But besides that they kill or inhibit the growth of bacteria, they also kill or inhibit the bacteria in our intestine. And that's the big problem. You know that our intestine has a healthy flora. So there is tons of bacteria in our intestine, but they are good. They must be there. They help digestive system. And without those bacteria, digestive systems goes upside down. But antibiotics, unfortunately, has a and the biggest side effect, besides the allergies or personal intolerance to certain antibiotics, but they destroy the intestinal flora. And recent research shows that much of the beneficial bacteria is permanently destroyed, even if probiotics are given after antibiotic use. This is the biggest problem. Now, let us ask ourselves a question. If I have an infection and the question is life or death, something serious, what do? I sacrifice my flora, I sacrifice my intestine in order to save my life, right? How about if I have just a simple flu? Just a running nose, a cold, or just a cut on my leg or on my hand? What do?
Use antibiotics, that's for sure.
You see, usually people use antibiotics for every nothing. You sneeze, antibiotics. You cough, antibiotics. You have a cold, antibiotics. You have a cut, you have a wound little somewhere there on your leg or somewhere in the body, antibiotics. Yep. What happens? People ruin their flora and they sacrifice their flora for the things which they could avoid and treat with other things, avoiding using antibiotics. Effectiveness and easy access of antibiotics lead to overuse, prompting bacteria to develop resistance. This has led to widespread problems with antimicrobial and antibiotic resistance. So what is resistance? A bacteria. When we have, let's say, a simple cold, then we use antibiotics. The next time we have something similar symptoms, the antibiotics we used last time won't help. Why? Because the bacteria, from generation to generation, they become resistant to the previous antibiotics. So therefore, the pharmacies, they have to develop more potent ones, and more potent, and even more potent. And what people do? They use the potent antibiotics. They're causing these bacteria to become even more resistant. And now, diseases which could be treated in the past just with a lime juice or with a turmeric, now they become so severe that people have to stay in hospital. And that's because misuse of antibiotics. I repeat, yes, when you have a problem, we need to go to the doctor, because it might be something serious, and we do need antibiotics to save life. But if we have something simple which is not a matter of life and death, why should we abuse it? The World Health Organization has classified antimicrobial resistance as a serious threat that is no longer a prediction for the future. It is happening right now in every region of the world and has the potential to affect anyone of any age in any country. That's in their report as of 2014, World Health Organization. So they really ring the bell. And they are urging people to be careful using antibiotics. Unfortunately, some of the doctors, they still stay with the old school, what they learned when they were young, in 60s, in 70s. And they still stick with that pattern, anything, even simple cold, antibiotics. Treat simple problems with simple things, avoiding side effects. Do not sacrifice your flora for when it's not necessary, when it's not a disease which is a life-threatening situation, like a running nose, a sore throat, or just a cold or a flu. Garlic, cayenne pepper, ginger, turmeric, and many other, like oregano leaf, oregano oil, and then grapeseed extract. There are many, many other natural things which works as a natural antibiotics, which inhibits the growth of bacteria or even kills the bacteria. Well, let me explain to you so you understand. Natural things, they don't literally kill the bacteria unless you take a bacteria and put it in a garlic clove. No. But they give a boost to our immune system, which helps to fight the bacteria, and then it literally kills the bacteria. I would like to talk about these 4 things mentioned here a little bit more in details about each of them. Because all these things are available to us. They're everywhere. In any grocery, you find garlic, cayenne pepper, Kroger, Food Lion, ginger, turmeric in Walmart. It's available everywhere. It's there. The problem that people don't know how to use it, and people don't know why they should use it. Garlic. Garlic can combat sickness, including the common cold and similar infections. Garlic helps reduce blood pressure. Did you know about that? Improves cholesterol level. Contains antioxidants that help prevent Alzheimer's disease and dementia. Has beneficial effect on bone health in women. Helps increase estrogen deficiency in menopausal women. So, for the ladies who reach certain age, garlic must be a part of their diet. A couple of examples. So you can do your own research. I'll just give you a couple of examples how to use garlic. For example, you can use garlic just for a not literally kind of cleansing, but as an immune boost, seasonal immune boost, or just to help your body, or if you have a blood pressure problem, that's what should you do. Squeeze the juice of half a lemon in a glass of slightly warm water and have it with 2 cloves of garlic. If you cannot swallow the whole clove, cut it in half or cut it in 3 pieces and swallow it with a glass of warm water with a half a lemon juice. Do that every morning for about 10 to 14 days. That helps blood pressure, that helps your immune system. So for example, if somebody in your family or at work is sneezing, I have to drink garlic. Because if they're sneezing, there must be first symptoms that they have a cold. So I want my immune system be ready for that cold. Instead of taking a vaccine, I have another option. I have an option to use garlic. For example, salad dressing. Everyday use. 1 to 3 tablespoons of olive oil, depends on the size of a salad bowl. Salt to your taste. 1 to 2 cloves of garlic. Lemon juice, half of a lemon, and seasoning to your taste. For example, you can put like a rosemary or whatever you like. You can use a dill, parsley, or just even raw onion, and you blend it, and you have healthy, good, without side effects, without preservatives, artificial flavors, dressing, salad dressing, without adding any artificial things. Cayenne pepper. As I was talking in the beginning, there was a question here. Cayenne pepper is very similar to hot pepper, regular hot pepper, but it's not the same. While jalapenos and all these hot sauces, they use hot pepper, regular hot pepper, they may cause a stomach pain. Why? They irritate the stomach mucus, and they may cause a pain or just kind of a discomfort, a disturbance right there. Therefore, all the doctors who use hot things for healing, they say only one thing: cayenne pepper, and not the other one, cayenne pepper. And if you use it raw, pay attention to it has to be red, and that it has to be light green or bright green. If it's already kind of brownish, it's too old. It's sitting on the shelf for too long. So when you buy it, try to buy it as fresh as possible. It helps digestion. Relieves migraine pain. Well, migraine pain is actually hard to relieve. So it relieves the pain in combination with the hydrotherapy. And if you have any questions about the migraine pain, or from a natural point of view, how to deal with it, we can talk later. Prevents blood clots. And about this we'll talk separately. There's a very important things to understand about cayenne pepper, but later we'll return to this point number 3. Prevents blood clots. Provides detox support. So detox diets or detox drinks, they do include cayenne pepper. And I believe you got the paper which has the detox drink. Cayenne pepper is part of it. Relieves joint and muscle pain. So as a cayenne pepper oil can be used externally, and they can be used to relieve joint and muscle pain. One recommendation: when you use cayenne pepper. There are some varieties. Some of them are already diluted, but there are 100% cayenne pepper oil. That is very potent. And if you use that cayenne pepper, which is 100%, so not diluted, it's a very strong. And you will feel more pain instead of relief of a pain. You will feel more pain. Therefore, if you use 100% cayenne pepper, mix it with the olive oil. 3 drops of a 100% cayenne pepper in a 1 teaspoon of olive oil. Mix it, and then you can use for your back, for muscle pain relief. Otherwise, it will be really burning your skin. So instead of relief, you will be running, my back, you know. And when you use for internal use, it's up to 3 drops because it's very potent. Fights cold and flu. When you have a sore throat, take a quarter of a teaspoon, it's actually literally an end of a teaspoon of a cayenne pepper, half a glass of warm water, or even less, just a quarter of a glass of warm water, mix it and gargle and do a swallow. So gargle and then swallow. It burns here, but it helps a sore throat. It relieves. So if you do that before you go to sleep, in the morning you would be able to swallow. Anti-cancer agent, rich in antioxidants, boosts metabolism. So basically, if you want a healthy digestion and you want to fight your weight, then you may include cayenne pepper in your diet. And basically, for example, if you're on a diet to lose weight, then you would prefer soup over a solid dish. Because the amount of soup you eat, for example, you can eat 2 bowls of soup and you feel full, you know, tank is full. Yet the amount of calories you ate is way less than if you would eat 2 full plates of noodles with meatballs, for example, or pasta. And if you use the cayenne pepper for that, that will help you. So how to use it? Cayenne pepper are available year-round on the market. In powder, fresh, dried, any form. Just use it. Of course, if you want the best of it, use it fresh. But if you're dealing with a heart disease, or you're trying to prevent heart diseases, or you're trying to use it for to help your digestive system, then powder, dried powder, is absolutely fine. Ginger can treat many forms of nausea, especially morning sickness. Actually, one of the biggest problems of morning sickness is dehydration. Especially when in the winter time, when we use heaters with the heat air blowing, it really dries the air. And if we do not have humidifiers in the house, and if we don't drink enough water before going to sleep, we really can have not feeling well in the morning. So ginger in the morning, and I'll talk later how to use it. I'm just telling you that it will help you to fix yourself in this regard. Improve brain function and protect against Alzheimer's disease. Help fight infections, especially oral and respiratory infections. So if you have any gums, If you have sore throat, coughing, bronchitis, any of these infections, ginger should be your friend. Drastically lowers blood sugar and improves heart disease risk factors. So if you have specifically diabetes type 2, that's actually the diabetes developed because of a wrong diet or a lack of exercise, ginger should be used to fix that, helps to fix it. The anti-inflammatory effect can help with arthritis. Reduces muscle pain and soreness. Help treat chronic indigestion. Helps lower cholesterol levels. Helps prevent cancer. So it's a similar effect to cayenne pepper, but you see, if a cayenne pepper more with the heart problems, then ginger is more for diabetic problem. Ginger is number 1 used in the natural remedies for diabetes type 2. While for lowering cholesterol and fighting as a blood thinner and trying to fight the blood clots to prevent heart attack, cayenne is number 1. So how to use ginger? You can use it in raw. Put raw sliced ginger in a smoothie every morning, or use it in making homemade vegetable juice. So you take a ginger, 1 or 2 slices, try 1 slice first. If it's okay, you can add next morning 2 slices. If it's still okay, you can add 3 slices, because sometimes ginger has a very strong flavor. So adding to smoothie, sometimes what we used in my family, my wife, when she makes a smoothie, she makes a whole jar of smoothie, then she pours in the cups and keeps a little bit of a smoothie and then adds ginger there. So we drink that as a remedy and then we enjoy the rest. We drink that with the ginger as a remedy because it's good and healthy. And then without ginger, I am enjoying the big cup, the rest. So there are options if you don't like the taste. I personally am not a fan of a ginger. I'm okay with a ginger tea, but not in smoothie. But I know it's good, especially in raw. Therefore, that's what as an option for you. Ginger essential oil. The most potent form of ginger is ginger essential oil because it contains the highest levels of gingerol. But pay attention, no more than 3 drops for internal use, because as I told you, as a cayenne, 100% cayenne pepper oil, the same. Ginger oil is a very potent. For internal use, 3 drops, that's the suggested amount. Or ginger tea, commonly used to relieve nausea, settle the stomach, release constipation, and relax the body. Drink 3 times daily to reduce inflammation. So if you're suffering arthritis, or if you have diabetes type 2, ginger tea must be part of your daily diet or drink. I would say that there's ginger drinks they sell out there. It's not that. Yes, it's like, it's like a Diet Coke. It's a self-deceiving drink. Use raw. Buy a piece of a ginger in a store and use for tea, and that should be used. That's a natural, without preservatives, natural flavors and taste. Because those ginger drinks, yes, there is a ginger there, but they use also lemon juice and they use a lot of sugar to override the taste, so to make it pleasant. the whole idea that you're trying to lower the amount of sugar you're consuming because you may suffer of diabetes, or you want to prevent diabetes, and instead you kind of, the amount of sugar you take it's kind of, working for nothing. Or ginger powder, use ground ginger powder for cooking. Turmeric, another good friend. Contains bioactive compounds with powerful medicinal properties, most important of which is curcumin. Probably many of you heard about curcumin. So actually it's a part of turmeric. Curcumin is a natural anti-inflammatory compound. So it's a real natural antibiotic. It's very rich in antioxidants. Vitamin E, which is antioxidants. So it helps to prevent Alzheimer, dementia, and boosts immune system. Boosts brain work to lower and lowers risk of brain diseases. Helps prevent and even treat cancer. So it's not used only for preventive measure. It's used as a natural treatment for people who already have cancer. Helps patients with arthritis. Lowest risk of heart disease. Has incredible benefits against depression. So turmeric helps depression. Well, it's not, as I told you, it's not a direct help, but it helps the nervous system, it helps our brain, it stimulates the work of our brain, and therefore, it helps depression. So how to use it? One of the best ways to experience turmeric benefits is with turmeric tea, golden root tea. Again, you can buy it in health food store, or you can save money because it's not cheap in health food store. So why don't you just buy those roots and do it yourself at home? Use turmeric as a spice in cooking, or you may use it as food supplements. I would say about the food supplements, something I want to mention here. There is a garlic as a food supplement. It's not that. When you take a raw piece of a garlic, a clove of garlic raw, and if you cannot swallow it, you chop it in 3 or 2 pieces, and you take it with the water, with a half of a lemon, that works. Garlic salt, garlic powder, it's already dried powder. It adds flavor to food. For example, how do they do garlic bread? They use the garlic powder to add just that smell. They add flavor. But the health benefit is very minimal out of that, or even nothing, because it's already processed. The whole idea to have it raw. And the same with turmeric. The whole idea, if you make a tea out of it and drink it, not processed, or you can use it as a spice in cooking. Of course, if you're, for example, in a special treatment for cancer treatment, as a spice for cooking, no, that doesn't help. You need a real turmeric. Something special I would like to talk about the spices in heart disease prevention. Dr. Christopher claims that in 35 years of his career, he didn't lose any patient he had to deal with a heart attack or symptoms of a heart attack, because he, besides the regular treatment, he used cayenne pepper tea. So basically, According to Dr. Christopher, if the person is conscious and breathing, mix 1 teaspoon of cayenne pepper with 1 cup of warm water, making it a cayenne tea, and give it to the person to drink. However, if a person is unconscious, using cayenne extract or tincture may do the trick. Simply place a couple of drops under the person's tongue and let the effect take place. For example, if it's yourself, or your mom or dad, or your grandma or grandpa, if you see something wrong with them, or they just not enough air, give them the cayenne tea. They may feel burning, but that's how you may save their life. If they're unconscious, you probably have to be maybe more brave and really act fast, because you cannot use when they're unconscious. You see, that's what the doctor said. I would be very careful following this at home. You better call emergency right away. But while you're waiting for emergency, give them the drink. So there is a lot of things there is a lot of other spices. There is a lot of other things I can talk about the health benefits. But it says there, help yourself. Celery, for example, or many other, parsley, dill, or the enemy of a parsley. I call it the enemy because it looks like a parsley, but it has a absolutely different taste and smell, which is cilantro. And they have a lot of health benefits if you use them raw. I just don't have time to tell in details about each of them. But the only one thing that you should learn today and take as an important information with you, whatever I'm going to use, I want to use it in raw. Garlic, raw. Cayenne pepper, raw or powder is okay for preventing the heart diseases. Ginger, I want to have it raw. Turmeric, I want to have it raw. Celery, I want to have it raw. Or any other, I want to have it raw.